I have bought some of the craziest and coolest PlayStations ever made, spending almost $5,000 just to make this video. I have no idea what the condition is like on any of these consoles. I bought them from this random website in the UK that has this really strange name.
We can buy your games and gadgets. 6.
First, let's kick things off with a mystery box. I've used a bot to purchase a console at complete random, so I literally have no idea what's inside of this box. It might not even be a PlayStation. So let's take a look at what we've got inside of this very first box. Oh, it's the Spider-Man one. Oh, there's so much packaging. Oh, this is gonna be nice. Yes. So here we have the PS4 Pro Spider-Man Edition. Now, probably one of my biggest concerns of purchasing this console used is any sun fade damage. Because it's so red, if somebody hasn't looked after this correctly and they've left it really close to some outdoor light such as sun, I just have a sneaking suspicion the red could have sort of faded and tarnished a bit and not have the same impact. And I guess the only way to find out is to crank this thing open. Oh, it's heavy. Oh. There we go. It's looking all right. It's actually looking okay. I think we're in the clear. I think we are in the clear. Oh, this looks like it's in good condition. Wow. Oh wow, that looks really good. Other than just a few fingerprint marks and a couple of scratches where probably someone's throwing the controller onto the console, which, you know, we all do from time to time. This is actually in superb nick. Oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. Now, this is actually my first time unboxing a PS4 Pro, and they have a much larger power supply than on the regular consoles. I've only owned a regular PS4 in white and a PS4 Slim, and I did not know that. I did not know that at all. Now, another thing that made this console super special was the limited edition controller. Now, this controller wasn't just any old red controller that you would get with a PlayStation, which you could purchase off of the accessory store. Instead, it had some special white thumbsticks, as well as all of the buttons being completely white, as well as the triggers. Now, unfortunately, this controller isn't in that great of a condition. It doesn't help that it does have white triggers. It does pick up a lot of dirt, so I will need to clean this in order to make it look a little bit more stylish. Next up, we have one of my favorite consoles ever made. Back in 2014, Sony released 12,300 20th anniversary PS4s to celebrate the release of the PS1. I almost bought one of these retro-themed consoles back in 2014 for the base price of £400, which is pretty reasonable considering these also include a PlayStation camera. Unfortunately, I didn't, and since then, this thing has skyrocketed in price. I bought this for around $1,000 used on the internet without any way of actually checking its condition before it arrived. Luckily, upon first impressions, this console seems to have been looked after really well. Other than a few fingerprint marks from when they put it back in the box, there's not a single scratch on it. Now, I did have the opportunity to actually purchase one of these brand new in box condition, but it would have set me back around $3,000. Another thing that's so unique about this PlayStation console is the very premium unboxing. Considering this was only £400, which was basically the price of a standard PlayStation back in 2014, you didn't have this same sensation when it came to unboxing it. And other than just the console, there's a whole section for the accessories. Now, this PlayStation edition came with a bunch of accessories. First, you got your limited edition controller, which has a lot of subtle hints and Easter eggs towards the original PS1. You've got the original PlayStation logo, which I personally think looks way better than the modern one. It just looks super classic. And then on the touchpad as well, you've got a bunch of PlayStation icons, such as your square, triangle, circle, and cross, but some people call this X. On the back of this rare console, we also have this special sticker, which looks like a metal plate, which matches the one that is found on the back of the console itself, keeping the theme on going across the entire console, which is a nice touch. But in addition to this, there is also a stand for putting your console vertically, which back in the day you had to purchase stands as additional accessories, and this again is in the rare retro grey color to match the console. But as previously stated, this console does also include a PlayStation camera, which once again is in the special edition grey color. Across the entire console, there are these very subtle icons engraved on the top and bottom, but these aren't your standard PlayStation icons. There's actually the addition of the number 2 next to the circle, which obviously hints at the 20-year anniversary. And part of me wonders whether this embossed design sort of influenced what we saw on the PS5 with the X's and squares on the interior of the console. Now, a fun fact about this console is that Sony actually hosted a charity auction to sell off unit number 00001, and it sold for over £85,000, but the mysterious bidder never actually paid. You see, the PlayStation 1 was originally released on the 1st of December 1994, which is the 3rd day of the 12th month, and it explains why there is actually 12,300 consoles. It's a hint at the original launch date. Now up next, I think we've got the special edition Metal Gear Solid PlayStation 4. Now, I genuinely had no idea that this console existed until purchasing it for this video, and it's actually a really pretty design. Oh, a bit of damage to the box. Not a great start. That's a little bit disappointing. There's a bit of a tear on the box here. Clearly someone was a little bit anxious to play Metal Gear Solid back in 2015. They just tore the box right open. The PlayStation 4 included in this bundle is just the regular 500GB model in the regular shape. However, it comes in a special deep crimson red with a gold line detail, inspired by the look of Snake's bionic arm. The DualShock 4 controller also comes in a metallic grey color and resembles the handgun that's held by Snake. Both the system and the wireless controller feature the unit emblem of Diamond Dogs, which is a private military organization led by Snake. Now, first impressions on the box, it looks like this console comes with the vertical stand, but actually it lies to me. It says right here, vertical stand sold separately. So that was a little bit disappointed. I was getting excited. After seeing it on the 20th anniversary edition, I thought this is it. It's gonna look really cool. Oh, now I've tore the box. Ah! Oh, that was a bit of a thud. Oh my word, that was a bit of a thud. Ooh, that looks nice. It's upside down though. Wow. Ooh, this looks in really good condition. I'm really surprised by the condition of some of these consoles, as because of a lot of glossy plastic on the old consoles like the Xbox One and also the PS4s, they scratch really easily, but whoever's on this is really looked after them, and that's been the same for a lot of the other consoles that we've explored. I think this is probably my favorite console that we've looked at. Now, the controller on this is also special. Not the specialist of controllers, unlike the Spider-Man one that we took a look at a moment ago. That was quite unique and special. Honestly, they made the unboxing experience really difficult on the PlayStation 4 generation. Cardboard everywhere. Pretty nice, actually. Yeah, the controller's pretty nice. So this is a metallic gray, and it's quite a simple controller design, really, compared to what you could get on a special edition controller like with the Spider-Man with special color buttons. This is just a beautiful metallic sort of gunmetal gray with some subtle red crimson arrows once again to tie it in with the console. They've really nailed just the simplicity of this Metal Gear console in general. And this was one of the cheapest consoles that we actually purchased for this video, and I actually think it's one of the best. Now, unfortunately, the game wasn't included in the box with this special edition. So I went out and I've actually found the exact day one edition that should have been bundled in with that console, and we're gonna try it out.
I know there's plenty of time. This is like the world's longest prologue ever. I remember playing this on PC. You like crawled through the hospital or something ridiculous. It takes like 3 hours. It's such a game killer. So we're finally finished with that ridiculously long intro sequence. It just sort of kills the game, I think, from the off. It's not very exciting. And we're actually experiencing what Metal Gear Solid 5 was all about. This massive open world experience that had a lot of flexibility for how you would approach the levels. Now, I actually played this game back in 2015 on my gaming PC, and it looked absolutely stunning. And playing it on the PS4, all these years later, it still looks surprisingly very good. Now, obviously, it's running at 1080p because we're on the box standard PS4. There's a little bit of pop-in at the distance when it comes to sort of that rendering in, but nothing too bad. And it does feel very, very smooth. I wouldn't be too surprised if it is near 60 FPS. That could be a bit of a bold statement, but it doesn't feel like a lot of console games can. So if I remember right in this game, in the bottom right corner, the suppressors have a lifespan. So if you use them... Oh, I wasn't meant to do that. Oh, my suppressor's now broken. Oh, my word. Let's have a go at doing a grenade. Oh, did I throw that? Oh, God. That diving mechanic's cool. That needs to be adopted by a lot of third-person games. That diving mechanic's awesome. Coming back and playing this game all these years later, I do remember just being really bad at it.
Speaking of great playing days, next we have the PS4 Slim Days of Play Special Edition. The PS4 Slim had some really nice designs. Star Wars Battlefront and Gran Turismo are just a few that come to mind, but none are as striking as this. Released in 2018 as marketing for the 60 Days of Play event, it was only available for a very short period of time and has a ton of tiny details. Included are 2 limited edition DualShock 4 controllers with PS icons on the touchpad. And the console's design is stunning with the contrasting golden blue. Now interestingly, there are 2 different versions of this console, one for the US and also one for the UK. Now on the surface, they both look identical, however, the UK version only came with 500 GB of storage, whereas the US variant had a 1 TB hard drive. And as this is a PS4 Slim, its price at launch was very reasonable, especially considering that it does have multiple controllers. I bought this used for $300, which was the exact same price you would have paid for it brand new in 2018. And to be honest, it isn't even in that great of a condition, as the glossy design has caused some really bad scratches over the years. Now this next console was released for the God of War on the PlayStation 4, the reboot, and they rebooted the franchise on the PS4. They released a PS4 Pro to go alongside with it. Now this is actually one of the sort of final special edition PS4 Pros that was released towards the end of that console generation. I think it's definitely one of the nicest. Now, I feel it's a bit of a controversial one, this one. Some people love the design. Some people think it's an okay design because it's quite niche for if you're obviously a massive God of War fan. It's covered in a lot of Easter eggs. But I think in general, it's just very special. Now, this was another console that I did almost buy back in 2018 when it came out. I was in that sort of phase of looking for something a little bit more powerful to play Red Dead Redemption 2 on. You know, I was playing it on the regular PS4, or obviously when it was going to be coming out, that was the platform I was going to play it on. And I was stuck between purchasing something like the Xbox One X or the upgraded, obviously, PlayStation 4. I did order an Xbox One X in the end, and then I panicked and cancelled it and ended up just playing it, Red Dead, on the regular PS4, like the Metal Gear one we just took a look at. And I was kind of happy with the experience. Ooh, that's nice. The metallic silver is nice. This is in immaculate condition. Again, thank you so much to the person who owned this before for not destroying it. Wow, we can really appreciate this console. There's not a single scratch anywhere on the console. That's superb. This is the best one I've seen probably in a while. Oh, there's a controller as well, I forgot. Ooh, the controller's nice as well. The design on this controller is definitely made for the hardcore God of War fan. You've got the massive logo on the touchpad, which for me personally, this makes it my least favorite controller that we've seen bundled in with the special edition controllers. The other ones have been a little bit more subtle with the game they're actually associated with, and this feels a little bit lazy, just throwing the logo on the touchpad. But other than that, the shiny silver design and this little logo is very nice. The design of this PS4 Pro is inspired by Kratos' axe in God of War, and you can see this on the console itself. Right here, obviously, you've got the blade of the axe and then the handle, which looks really nice, but one of my favorite things is actually the color. The silver and gold makes this PS4 Pro look like a long-lost artifact and treasure found in the Norse lands. And the Nordic symbols just create a really mysterious vibe when you look at the console.
Great atmosphere. One thing that God of War does really well is, you know, like, listen to that music. You know, it's unbelievable. It really sets the scene. Yeah, this looks really good. The PS4 Pro isn't that much worse than the PS5. Seriously, I think it's playing at 30 FPS. I do think it's 4K 30 FPS. Now we're moving this boat. Now we're riding this boat down the waves, down the river or whatever we're doing. It does feel not as smooth as the PS5 version. I think the PS5 version's 4K 60 FPS. I don't think it's 120 FPS. One thing you do notice with these older consoles going back and playing them is definitely the speed of the hard drives. The hard drives really are quite detrimental when it comes to loading different levels in and things like that. Probably not going to notice it too much on a game like God of War. It's quite linear, you know, it loads in little sections and things like that. It's nothing too crazy, but oh, here's the music kicking in again. Oh, it's so good. The music's so good. You do definitely feel the difference in the triggers compared to the DualSense. In fact, you can't even feel how you're controlling the attack. You know, if you're like pressing and holding to charge up like that, you can't predict what you're doing. It just feels like a soft, spongy button that you're pressing.
So next we've got this absolutely massive box. And I think you all know what this is going to be. In here, I have got one of the rarest and most sought-after PlayStation consoles ever made. Ooh, I hope that isn't damage to the box. Come on. So this is the PS4 Pro 500 million edition. Now there was only 50,000 of these consoles ever made, and they're incredibly rare. This is just as special as the 20th anniversary console, but it was released to mark a huge milestone of over 500 million PlayStation systems sold worldwide. Translucent colors are iconic for PlayStation fans, and the 500 million edition does not disappoint. So this console features a dark blue translucent design, which apparently looks incredible when the console is turned on. So when you turn this console on, the blue light sort of shines through it, the blue power lights. Unbelievable. So I'm assuming this is some special horizontal stand that we have here. Ooh, it could be in slightly better condition. There's a few scratches, considering how rare this console is, and it cost me like, I can't remember, like $850, something insane like that. It should be immaculate for that price. There's a few scratches on the surface here. So they've been putting their controllers on top of it. And also it's really dusty. Like, I hope there's no dust inside. That's gonna sort of destroy the translucent design of this, rammed with carpet dust. But it's quite dusty here. They haven't really wiped it down. Now there's a random screw here in the box, which I'm assuming it's off the bag. But again, that might have been loose in the box or something and caused the scratching. It's a little bit bizarre. One thing I love about the dark translucent design is how all of the accessories match the main part of the console. The controller is also transparent, so you can see all of the little details inside. Unfortunately, this is a really sticky and greasy controller. You can see on the touchpad. It's a bit of a shame that they didn't clean it down for sending it out, considering how premium and rare this product is. And also, I wouldn't have even really used this controller because it's such a collector's item. But to complement this, we do also get a chat headset, the mono chat headset that also matches the design. Hopefully the guy hasn't used that as well. And then finally, we have got this PlayStation camera. Now this looks completely different to the camera included on the 20th anniversary PS4. I do think that one looks a little bit nicer in the gray. Completely different shape. Personally, I've never owned a camera. This might be the PS Camera 2 or something. I don't really know much about them, and I don't really have much intention of using this. I've never owned one in the past or anything, so I'm not going to be playing any PS Move sort of games with those Joy-Cons to sort of utilize it. In here, we should just have all of our power supply, power supply, and our camera, our PlayStation camera mount for our television, which also, you know, matches the overall aesthetics. So pretty nice stuff. Got our special stand, got our accessories. This console was limited to only 50,000 consoles worldwide, which means at its time of release in 2018, it's contributed to only 0.01% of PlayStations in the world, which highlights its rarity. In addition to this, each system has a commemorative copper plate on the front of it with its limited edition serial number etched on. And in classic PlayStation style, a few of them are extra rare. If you want to see me make this video, but for the craziest Xboxes ever made, hit the like button and also subscribe so you don't miss that when we upload it. But for now, check out this video next.